Well, this one was quick. The Twin Viper's Wraith instantly go into F tier. It's an invasion weapon, so you're at the whim of when the invasions decide to spawn each part. It could be weeks, days, or months. Even then, you have to be on during the time it spawns and do 3 missions in order to get them as well, multiple times, because sometimes it may spawn the same part, a part you already have, or you just have to keep waiting. And then you have to wait for the invasion to actually be done for you to get the reward to build it. So, yeah, F tier. And that goes for its potential too, because these things just suck. They don't have enough stats or damage to do anything any other secondary can do with less mods. Like, just look at the background footage. I'm trying not to use the 3 for the damage buff to not introduce many variables that isn't just the gun itself and the fire rate being increased from my pet. I ended up using it eventually even after using Mirage's 1. It can't hold its own at all. I even put this ribbon on it, which doesn't increase the damage, but it does increase its status chance and crit chance, so I could build either way. I even put 2 60/60 mods on it, and it barely increases, and the crit damage is also hella lacking because of its low damage. It barely kills in a single mag on just body shots. I ended up using it like a precision weapon after not even 10 kills. These things are just bad. The only thing I can see maybe being useful is somehow getting a secondary ammo efficiency on it to shoot way more, but even then, the only thing I know is the crappy arcane akimbo slip shot. So yeah, they're also just very old. I was 11 when they were introduced into the game in 2013. Again, F tier. The Vesper is obtained in 4 ways. Both Hell Scrubs, aka the survival mission in Helvania, like I said, Harvest, and Hex Standing. I wonder what I did.
Described as its own reward is probably not worth much, which is why
can I build it? I can build it too, which is... And what the funny thing is, I'm gonna have a lot of fun with this gun because I actually really like this kind of gun. Well, it's S tier for that. But for real, that is the easiest way. Just get 30,000 standing and buy all the blueprints easily. You can farm the blueprints in each of the aforementioned missions with these drop chances from best to worst. Rotation C being the greatest as always, but it's really not the greatest this time around. So the best way is just to farm standing in a few minutes, grab the standing items in the missions, and be done within like half an hour. No need to suffer. Unlike the enemies who will die before they even know it hit them. Actually, that means they wouldn't suffer because they die instantly. Anyway, the Vesper is a very gimmicky gun. The whole shtick is weak points. Aiming in gives you a laser sight that points out the enemy's weak spots and gives you 40% more crit damage against them. I originally also thought that it enlarged them when I first saw it, allowing for easier weak point shots, but it does not. You still have to aim for the weak points, which is fine because it hits those like a freight train. I built for weak point stuff, aka using Acuity and Semi-Pistol Cannonade to hit them again, like a freight train. However, that's really all it's good for. You may hit stuff for 824,000 damage with a couple of buffs, but it's on one guy. A gas or a blast build may be good. I tried gas with leaded gas specifically, in that mod only, which may be the case as to why every single time I saw a gas proc, there was no gas cloud, except for like once. So maybe it's extremely good in steel path content with a proper build, but for general content, you're better off using anything else that just kills multiple people very quickly. Mainly because you need to take your time and hit headshots, where other secondaries such as the Tenet Cycron, you can just run around beaming people down faster and more efficiently. Since it also fires slow and reloads slow, but it hits like a freight train, it has very good damage, crit, and a decent status chance. Overall, it's gimmicky and sort of niche. I'd say C to B tier generally, but A for steel path and higher level content where the health bars are way higher. A simple dojo weapon. The research requirements are also extremely easy to get, it's just basic materials. Even if it were to triple or tenfold because of your clan tier, it would still be easy. However, if you're in a storm clan or above and everything isn't researched, that isn't just cosmetic, what are you doing there? Get on that, or better yet, join a different dojo. Still, if you're a solo dojo or with friends, it's not bad. Research, wait 3 days, then grab the blueprint, which also isn't bad. Just more common materials. S tier. The gun itself, though, isn't S tier. it's just okay. The Zakti fires 3 darts that deal initial impact damage, then do a small gas explosion afterwards. Its damage is decent, but just isn't enough. Its status chance is also low, which is confusing for what I would assume you would want to build it for, being a status damage dealer. And maybe that's because of its passive, where the gas explosion staggers enemies and yourself, leaving them vulnerable to finishers. If you want to make a finisher abusing build on melee weapon and combo it with this, I guess. There's also no point in building crit at all, since it is at a whopping 2%. So overall, it's just okay. It is a prime version, which is also just slightly better, but overall it's a D to C tier weapon. There are way more better guns that do its gimmick, but better. The Zymos I had in my foundry from before the series started, so let's look at the acquisition. Rank 1 with the Entrati, so 4,000 standing needed. Easy materials besides 2 of them. Rare gem and the Pustulant Cognitive Nodules. Again, the rare gems are luck and skill-ish based on the mining of blue veins in the Cambion Drift, while you get Pustulant Cognitive Nodules from 2 fish, 1 rare, 1 not. Foss has the common fish and Voam has the rare fish, so either wait for Foss or suffer in Voam. Or do the specific challenges from the glyph pillars in the Cambion Drift for a chance as well. Or just buy them from Daughter. In any case, it'll more than likely take less than an hour realistically, which is really good, unless Gem RNG goes stupid. Still, S tier. But using it also kinda just sucks. It's okay at best. Almost exactly like the Zakti, where it has no crit, but a lot of status. Mini explosions that stagger and knock back. Unlike the Zakti though, its passive applies when you hit a headshot. The bullet burrows into the enemy's skull, inflating their head with a balloon sound effect, and then explode again, releasing spores that seek more targets. It's okay. You have to hit the headshots for this thing to be good, but unlike the Vesper, it relies on the spores doing a bunch of damage and actually tracking something. The spores are so small and fast that you can barely see them in gameplay. This right here, that's the spores. The radius with which an enemy needs to be in the spores to spawn is 20 meters, but it doesn't feel like that at all. I think it might need line of sight with the enemy, but I can't confirm that. It just feels like that. It also has damage fall off, so yeah. It's more fun than the Zakti and can perform better than the Zakti if you hit headshots and the spores actually spawn and seek out more than like 3 people, but overall, there's better weapons. D to C tier. Man, we're going all the way back to Kome, because the Amanata is obtained with Kome's activity, Shrine Defense. Each part has a 4.09% drop chance. The activity is a bit annoying, however. You defend 2 locations as they make offerings. You then take the offering and deliver it 5 times, defeat 30 infested, going up by 30 per person in the mission, then defeat the infested Oni, which drops you the Fate Pearls, the pity currency, and the material that you need to craft the parts. On normal, you get 14 to 18 Fate Pearls, 20 to 24 on Steel Path, 270 for a full pity, 317 to craft it all with full pity. Sometimes the objectives will be very dumb to defend, so bring a nuking frame, because as soon as an enemy even enters the circle at all, or puts the spawner in the circle, it stops making the offering, which I get why, because it's people defending their home and they don't want to make it while there's something there and they get killed, but it's very annoying. So I always, as usual, bring Mirage for speed and giant laser ball. But before I started, I had 2 blades and a handle, thanks to farming Kome and the Hagasa. So I only needed the blueprint. However, I had to pity it because I got 3 Meso relics, 900 endo, 1 Hagasa stock, 1 Hagasa blueprint, 1 Kome neuroptics, and 1 Kome chassis, taking me 31 minutes, 36 seconds. I was kinda unlucky here. Still, the parts to craft the Amanata aren't bad either, besides the Fate Pearls. Again, and maybe the Shirok Teeth and Cetus Wisp. One's an uncommon fish needing Twilight Bait, and the other you just find it near some bodies of water, or buy from the Quills at rank 5. Overall, it's not terrible, just an annoying activity at points. A to S tier. The Amanata might actually be that same tier for potential too, and I'm quite surprised actually. The Amanata is a polearm with 24 crit, 2.0 crit multiplier, and 24 status. Pretty good stats. It doesn't swing slow and has, in my opinion, immediate access to the best polearm stance in the game. Just hold forward and melee, spin to win, or twirl to win. The thing is, it has very low damage, only beating out the Mark 1 bow and regular Thibodeau for polearms, and even then it's only by 2 damage for the Thibodeau. It comes with a passive that every 30 attacks, and specifically every 30 button presses that land, because if there's a multi-hitting melee attack, it doesn't count for all hits. Still, every 30 hits, Kome's die will roll, giving it one of these 5 buffs. Landing on 6 gives all of them. The only bad one being the status damage in my opinion, but hey, it's free buffs. It also has its own augment mod that gives it 330% more damage, and when you heavy attack above an 8 times multiplier, it gives a random status effect to the enemy's hit. That 330% more damage is more than regular pressure point, so that might counteract its low damage. But even without it, I think it's still fine for normal content. I have the mods to make it good, I suppose, and overall it is supposed to be a starting weapon for new players, or a starting farm for new players. Having low damage that favors slash but a good status and crit, I'd still put it in A tier even without the augment. I think it could perform really well when fully built. Well, another video within the week. Hopefully I get even more out. But since the last video, I've only added 55 to the counter, and I've done 450 reps. So the new total is 2,120. And the weapons for the next video are the Argo and Veil, Arm Spinoza, Azathane, Sarata, and the Coda Melees. That's it. If you watched to the end, thank you very much. And as always, take care of yourself.